Hey, what's up, everyone? This is C Hendo back once again. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Now, today, this dude here, multi-talented, actor, musician, entrepreneur, philanthropist. And by the way, one thing I will say this, a part of my childhood and a young adulthood history and my adulthood history. Darius McCrary, how you doing, man?
Hey man, blessed by the best man, and praying for the rest, man. How you
Man,
feeling, man? Appreciate
man,
you.
I'm
Thank you for
doing
the
good,
intro.
man. Man, I love it. Thank you. I love it, man. So before this, we talked quarantine, and you
Yes.
said that, man, quarantine life is crazy right now, and nothing will be the same. How's it been?
No, no. It's been cool, man. I think everybody has this thing of we've been conditioned a certain way here in this country, where we do not see a lot of what goes on, and we're only given a tip of the iceberg. We're very controlled in so many ways that we want to go back to what we know as normal. But things have never been normal in this country. After 9/11, when they destroyed the Twin Towers, um, it was a new normal. And it's the same thing with this pandemic and all this race stuff that's going on right now. All the race stuff that's been going on for years, we're just uncovering a whole lot of stuff now that we realize that hasn't been fixed or changed. So we're on our way to a new normal, man. Quarantine life, I believe if you look at it as a reset and not a vacation, you'll find yourself in a better place, a better position. Um, you know, we can't stop, man. We have to evolve. Life is all about evolution. Um, Human existence is all about evolution, and we are evolving daily, man, whether we realize it or not. Sin.
Man, so you mentioned police brutality, and once again, I do commend you for speaking up on social media about these things. Right now in America, we are having issues with this, obviously, and it's been this way forever. I mean, you played an iconic role on a TV show with that, with a scenario of that case. But can you talk about what's going on right now, and what are your thoughts about just what we're going through right now?
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. For me personally, as a celebrity, I feel like as a black man, I have no choice but to speak on what we're experiencing because I have experienced it firsthand, celebrity or not. I experienced it constantly, firsthand, celebrity or not. A lot of people may
Mhm.
look at me and say, "Oh man, you done had a good life. You done lived this. You don't know what it's like down here. You don't know what it's." No, I know exactly what it's like. I'm so real about mine that back in the day, I had an experience where I was racially profiled horribly,
Wow.
man. It was so bad that I went and told the producers about it on the show, Family Matters, and they wrote the episode "Good Cop, Bad Cop." Um, um, I was driving in my car and I was pulled over, and the police officer told me that uh, uh, he wanted to search the vehicle and he asked if the vehicle was stolen because my car was dirty. And he said that people who usually owned vehicles of this nice a vehicle usually made sure the vehicle was clean. And
Wow.
I said, well, officer, you can run the vehicle, you can check the VIN, and you can see if the vehicle is paid for it now. I'm sure that you see the vehicle is paid for. So, and then I'm a young man at this point.
Yeah.
I was in the 20s. To uh, say to the officer, well, if the vehicle is paid for, it should show. And could you run that and check that for me to let me know if it's paid for? And you'll find that it is paid for. And the reason it's dirty is because I've worked so hard to make sure this vehicle's paid for. I'm not really concerned about taking it to a car wash or having it cleaned. I do that on the weekends when I have time off. I'm a working young man. I'm on my way uh, from the store, which I was running. I was running somewhere from my mama, and I got pulled over, being a good son. And I had the wherewithal to ask for a watch sergeant at the time, which a lot of us don't understand. If you feel threatened when you're pulled over by police, you ask for a watch sergeant. You ask for a watch commander. And then even more so, if you want to take it to another level, you can ask for a sheriff to come and oversee the overseer. Um, so I just think that, man, we really do have to learn to work with law enforcement in our community. I think that if we learn to think with our heads and not our hearts, which is difficult for us as Black people a lot of the time because we are so soulful. That melanin that we have, it's a double-edged sword. It makes us do amazing things, great things. I mean, we perform feats that are almost superhuman when it comes to sports, when it comes to music, when it comes to everything we do with such passion. But that same passion is something that is frowned upon when it comes to business here in America, when it comes to communication a lot of times, and definitely when it comes to communicating with law enforcement. So I think that we're in an impasse right now, and there's a lot of things that are being uncovered that we have to face, we must face. And as a Black man in this country who's been blessed to have a voice, who experiences racism regularly, I think that I have a duty to speak on it.
So you're a father,
Yes.
obviously talking to your children about this. How is it to teach them about this? Because they're young, and how is it to teach them about this?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, man. It's really difficult um, to teach your children anything when you have a different mentality or mindset than the other parent. And a lot of times, um, I think that a lot of times, um, especially nowadays, um, our children have been coddled so much because of the fact that we've had so much taken from us. Um, we've experienced so much hardship that we want to give. We want to make a place of comfort. And so I think that a lot of our kids these days are not privy to the real. And so I just try to have the discussion with my children and with all of the children that I mentor that it isn't a race thing. It's about us being um, uh, good people.
Yeah.
There's only two people in the world, good and bad. And so I think that if we approach um, teaching our children about what we're experiencing, and we educate them on evil, I think that it'll be a lot easier for them to understand the enemy that they're fighting. Because the worst thing in the world is to have to fight an enemy that you can't see.
Okay, so I saw one of your tweets that you retweeted about Harriet Tubman, and obviously I'm bringing this up because I know you saw Kanye West, man, and it's an unfortunate thing of what he
Who?
said.
Who?
Kanye West, man, the guy that's supposed to be running
Who?
for
Who?
president.
Who?
I don't
Who,
know.
who, who is
I,
that? Oh, you know about that rapper? Oh yeah, that rapper. He did the song, my aunt's song, Auntie Shaka, Down to the Wire. That song. That's what put him on. That song, right?
yeah,
Yeah, to the wire. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's running for
when you
what? He's running for president.
well, so he made some comments about Harriet Tubman, saying that it was a whole thing about the slaves and she didn't free the slaves, and your tweet came out, which was pretty cool because you talked about the history of Harriet Tubman. When you see guys like Kanye doing these type of things, I'm pretty sure it's discouraging being an African American male, right? Being an entertainer in your business, right?
It hurts, man. It hurts me to my core because we have no idea what our ancestors, entertainers or not, went through to get us where we are. There's so many entertainers that these guys could never even probably mention who used to have to walk through the back door or walk through the kitchen, which is kind of cool to me because, the mobsters used to walk through the back door. All the gangsters, the guys who owned the place used to walk through the kitchen. Um, there's some restaurants where I enjoy walking to the kitchen. There's a legendary restaurant called Frank and Musso's. It's been there forever. Frank Sinatra used to hang out there. And the only way to get into the restaurant is through the kitchen. But my point is that when your name is on the marquee and you're bringing the revenue to a venue or you're bringing the revenue to an establishment, and you are treated like dirt. You're not respected for what you're doing. All you are is dancing. All you are is just looked at as talent. It's really sad, man, when we don't pay attention to those people like Republican John Lewis, who make so many sacrifices for us. No, it doesn't almost. It sets us back. And so it hurts my heart, man. And that's why when you asked me about Brother West, I just asked you who, because honestly, in my mind and in my heart, man, I have to put those brothers in another place, and I don't look at them as their slave name anymore. I just look at them as a brother who's lost, who needs some direction. So I don't know Kanye West. I don't know Weezy. I don't know who these people are, because a lot of these, we have to understand, is the stage name is an identity that has been taken on, and you may feel like you're giving yourself a different persona, but it's still slavery. You're changing your name to appease a overlord, which may be the distributor or whoever it is. You have to ask yourself, man, if we're on a chessboard, where does an entertainer fit into that? Is that pawn? Is that a rook? Is that a king, queen, bishop, knight? Because this game is chess that we're playing, and a lot of us just don't seem to understand that. And it's crazy, man, how all of us want to be entertainers, how all of us want to do anything to be seen or heard in the media, man. But we don't understand the work that goes into making this process take place. So even when I see an actor or an entertainer show up and disrespect a set or disrespect a recording studio, it hurts me to my core, man. It hurts me to my core, man. So, statements like that are just reckless. And I'm not saying this now because I'm seasoned. I'm saying this because I have been blessed to make it to the age of being seasoned.
Wow.
So even when I was on my way here, man, it's just some things I never would have done.
Man, and I'm glad you brought up John Lewis. Rest in peace to John Lewis. Definitely one of the biggest pillars of our history and our culture. So rest in peace to him as well.
1,000%.
So,
yep.
So we're gonna transition over to
CC Vivian too. It's amazing how they departed on the same day.
Yeah, and Mandela as well. That's we've had some tough. This has been a tough year, 2020, and I know people die yearly, but 2020 has been really tough, man. We've been having a lot of heartbreaks, man. So
new normal, man. It's the new normal.
Yeah. As you get older,
it's a shaking and a quaking going on, man. Everything is being shook up, and it's a whole lot more that we're gonna see, man. Nothing is done without the no cause happens without an effect, and we're seeing a serious cause and effect take place right now, and we're not even close to being done.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The ugly got to get out of here, man. We got to hit the reset button.
We need it bad, man. 2021 cannot get here fast enough, right?
Man, for real though. I promise you this. I won't be in no casinos no time soon.
Nah. No big public outings, man. Nah, we good right now. We are good.
Hey, man, this is. I won't be doing no online gambling. I won't be betting on nothing. None of that.
He said, "I'm chilling out, man. I don't blame you though. I don't blame you.
Not this year.
So 30 years plus in this industry, actor. What made you want to act? Because obviously, you and your brother as kids were part of iconic roles. Your brother playing on Boys in the Hood, obviously playing Ricky as the young Ricky, obviously, and then you on a award-winning Mississippi Burning, man. Like, what made you want to act?
So that's the thing, man. I never wanted to act. I was never a desire of mine, man. I come from a musical family, man. I wanted to be a musician, man. I wanted to be like my dad. My dad was one of the coolest cats and still is one of the coolest cats I've ever known, man. I mean, he hung out with the cats, man. I mean, that's what they call each other, you know, in the music world, man. It's one of the cats, man. That's just a bad cat, man. You know, I grew up in that world. That's how they talked about each
Yeah.
other, man. So I always wanted to be one of the cats, man. I really wasn't into it, man. It was something that chose me, and by the grace of God, and if I'm nothing else, I'm a testament to show that when your path is been carved out and your story's been written, there's nothing you can do to escape playing your role. Because I was hanging out with my dad on one of his gigs. He had done this play he did the music for called "Don't Get God Started," and
Okay.
with Marvin Winans and Kim Field's mom, who's a legendary actress, man.
Okay.
I mean, I've been called a legend, but this woman is a bona fide legend, man. She's opened up so many doors for so many throughout the years. She's a director, she's an actress, she's a writer, producer, and one of the first Black women to really do it. She discovered me, and she took me on an audition. And out of 5,000 kids, I got my first role that I read for. It was a feature film called Big Shot.
Okay.
And it just happened. And I'm gonna tell you, this was crazy. I blew my first opportunity to be in the industry. My mom had provided me an opportunity through some friends of ours, because you know my family's in the business, so we had some friends in some solid places, and there was an agency I had interviewed with. Matter of fact, I interviewed with Tiffany Brissett's mother. There was a show called Small Wonders. You guys probably
Small Wonder. Yeah.
Small Wonder. Tiffany Brissett, she's a good friend of the family. And this is how it used to work back in the day. You had a friend of a friend, somebody would get you in. It wasn't just Instagram audition, lighting yourself on fire and pushing, jumping in a shopping cart and pushing yourself downhill, and you get views. And next thing you know, you're on Ellen. It wasn't none of that. Yeah, I blew it. And my mom told Chip, I'll never forget it. She told Chip, Auntie Chip, she said, if you think that he can do this, you take it. She was like, because he's not embarrassing me again.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I went in and Chip coached me, and I killed it, man. I killed it. I'll never forget. I killed this audition. They flew me to Chicago. I read first in LA, then they flew me to Chicago, where the movie was actually filmed. Coincidentally, because that's where Family Matters is actually set in Chicago as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so raw in the audition, man. After I read, I asked the director, Mr. Robert Mandel, I said, so did I get the job? As a kid. And he cracked up, he looked at the producers, and they nodded their heads, and he said, yes, Darius, you got the job. Give me a hug on the spot.
You just trying to say the whooping. That's what you was trying to say. That's what you was trying to say. Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, that's how we were raised, man. So for
You
real,
already know.
Man, growing up, in the entertainment family, the McCrary, my dad used to have us sit at the piano. He would sit at the piano. We were singing and we couldn't get our parts. He would take his belt off, man, and put it on the piano, man, and look at us and be like, anybody else want to sing out of key? Please tell me. It was that serious, man. So music is something that I take very serious. Going before the people is something that I take very serious, man. Because you got to understand, man, when people invest their time, that's the one thing you can't get back. You can get money back. You can get a new car, a new house. You can't get your time back, which is another reason why it's so detrimental what we're watching, these lynchings that we're watching before our eyes. George Floyd's not coming back. Sandra Bland's not coming back. Eric Garner's not coming back. Trayvon Martin's not coming back. It's Alton Sterling. It's just the list goes on and on. Philando Castillo, they're not coming back, man. Breonna Taylor. So when you guys decide to invest your time with me, man, you're a part of me, and I don't play with that, So and that's just how I was raised, man, from old school entertainment, man. I don't take that for granted. You ain't got to come see my movie. You ain't got to watch me on the TV.
Yeah.
So every time that you do, I'm gonna make sure I make it worth your while.
Man, and it's funny, man. Another thing is just like watching your progression. You went from being like the kid. You were able to transition. A lot of people can't leave being a kid, and it becomes tough because you're known as the kid for your whole life, and you're not an adult. But I gotta ask you this, and I think this is important here because being African American in my field in sports journalism is very difficult at times. Obviously, you being an African American in the acting entertainment industry, what advice or what are some things that you would tell people, like if I was a young African American male that want to get into it?
Uh, I would tell anybody that wants to get into my field professionally to get a real job.
Hey, yeah, yeah,
No. Um, in addition to that, I would tell you also to make sure that you got to write your own narrative. You can never believe your own predicate. You can never believe that you've made it. You just can't. If you want to do this consistently, if this is what you want to do, if this is your life and you're going to put your life into it, you just can't never approach it like you've made it. Every time I've ever stepped on a set, every time I ever step into an audition, it's just like I just treat it like I've never made it, man. Like I don't know what it feels like to be on a press junket tour. A press junket tour, for those of you who don't know, is when they take you. Well, now it's probably more virtual, but you talk to all the press to promote the project or the product that you are a part of. And they treat you really well when you do these press junket tours. You can't get caught up in the spoils, of your fine automobile, your fine home. That would be my suggestion. In addition to that, I would suggest that you always approach it from a place of ownership, and the ownership starts with owning yourself, owning you. So you treat that character that you're playing, or you treat that situation as if it's yours. And I think that's what Michael Jordan applied to the game of basketball. He owned his game, from everything from his tongue, swag and chewing gum. That's what swag is. Kobe approached it like that. Gary Payton approached the game like that. His game. That's why he focused on defense. I mean, he was a fierce scorer, one of the coldest scorers in the game, low key. GP, he'll give it to you. He'll give. You look up and he'd be like, "Did you just score 30 on us? Was that 44? What was that?" But in addition to that, he made sure that he left an indelible mark on the game with that defense. And I think that's how you got to approach anything that you're blessed to touch. Ownership.
man.
And then what that does is it teaches you to, once you can take ownership of yourself, then you can learn to take ownership of your sphere. And that's how you become the writer, the producer, director. And that's what I'd like to see more of in the future, man. I done did it for 30 plus years, man, in front of the camera, y'all. I didn't do it for y'all to just come in and have a seat. I did it so y'all can come in and buy the building.
Wow.
That's what my mentality was when I was doing it. I want y'all to own the building. So that's what I'm suggesting to y'all young brothers out there. This is what you want to do.
Man, he dropping jewels. This man dropping dimes. He's dropping jewels here. So, one thing I want to ask you is this, and I'm pretty sure you've been asked this before, but family matters. Did you realize at the time, being a young teenager or a young man, how big of an impact that it would have, not only just on television history, because it is TV history, but just in life history? Because, being a young man from here in Fort Worth, Texas, or Dallas, Texas, I felt like I was Eddie Winslow in a way, wanting to like discover things, wanted to play sports, loved music, loved everything, wanted to do everything. But did you realize the impact that not only did your role have, but the TV show have on our culture?
Man, let me tell you something. I love when I hear those words, man, from my brothers, man. That right there just makes me feel like I have more to do. Because once again, it started from a place of ownership. I knew that if I owned that character, if I owned it, man, if I was able to really, really do my best, that I would be a strong link in the chain. And that show, to answer your question, yes, I knew it was going to be successful because of the locks that our chain was that we were locked and linked to. I knew what we were anchored to. Our anchors were Miller Boyette. Some of the greatest producers in the game. And then when you have people like David Duclain, Jim Gagin, Fred Fox, Rich Carell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these cats, you can Google these cats, man. Joel Zwick, Fred Rubin, Greg Garcia, Vita Spears, Sarah Finney. I can go on and on about these people who, when you have these people behind you, because see, a lot of us look at what we see out front, but there's something called a force behind the power. How could the Lakers not be amazing when the front office was what it was back when Showtime was around, when Dr. Bust would stop at nothing? When you got a great owner that is going to bring in the best players to surround you with the best, and your front office is killing, you know you're going to you know what you're doing. You know, that's why Jerry Krause was such a hater with Michael, because he was like, organizations win championships, players don't, organizations do. Because he knew the work he was putting in. He was just a hater because he wasn't getting no props for it. But see, on Family Matters, our producers didn't care about getting props for it because they had a long list. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Perfect Strangers, Full House, Getting By, Silver Streak. I'm leaving out some. I'm forgetting some. I mean, and then let's not talk about the shows that they only did 13 episodes, which means they still got paid, but didn't get picked up. Growing Pains. I mean, Bill Bickley and Michael Warren. So I knew from this, but I'm gonna tell you what was the most awesome experience of my life. One day, I was coming out of a convenience store, and this brother saw me. And this was before the convenience of cell phones. This is how far I go back, y'all. You know, people used to have to go into and get these little disposable cameras if they wanted to picture, which is why these moments used to mean so much more to us than I think they mean to the younger generation. This cat ran into the store just to get a camera and say, "Hey, man, please, man, I just want to tell you it's an honor meeting you. You saved my life." And I'm looking at him like, I saved your life. I said, really, man? Can you? Wow, brother, please share. You know, and he basically told me that because Family Matters came on, his family used to sit down and watch the show together. His mother made it a rule in the house that was the time that they were going to spend together to see his positive black family, because there were no images. He was running with a certain crowd, and some of his boys got caught up on a charge. And if he would have been out with them and not down with his family watching his show, he would have spent his life in prison.
Wow. See, and that's the thing, man. Like, you never know. You never know, man, what your impact is. And for me, like I said, Family Matters was a deal where, like, Good Times was great because it showed unity in the family. Man. Yeah. And Family Matters, what it did is it showed that not only can we have unity, but we have successful parents involved as well. Like, Carl being a cop, being a lieutenant, end up being a lieutenant, everything. And Harriet, career woman, end up being a mother. And it showed what being successful, being black as well. And not only that, the growing pains of the kids and everything, and they were supportive. Like, they showed being supportive parents, everything that you want to do, whether you want to hoop. Like I said, different things. Now, I got to ask you this. So, do you have a particular favorite episode that you recorded from that show?
Man, that's a great question. And it's so funny, man, because, you do so many episodes, like asking a player, what's their favorite game. Like, you might forget, and a lot of your moves, and certain stuff just happens in the spirit. But probably one of my favorite all-time episodes, I got to go with my top 5 because I mean, it's just these episodes mean a lot to me.
Okay.
My number 1 was an episode that Jaleel White actually crafted, which was the Grandmama episode.
You already know.
Yeah, my brother Donnie played Spider, and that was so
Spider.
cool.
One
You know,
time for
and
Spider.
Jalil, that one time for Spider, Donovan McCrary. That's why,
Yeah.
Lil Ricky, aka Lil Ricky.
Yep.
And I was so proud of
Yep.
him, man. And he, like I said, he was on his way, man, to playing in the league. You know, and he just decided that wasn't what his course was. But that dude was just gifted, man. And Jalil wrote that episode, and we worked it out to where my brother Donnie could come on and play, man. So that episode just is, you know, it has a very special place in my heart. There's another episode that I wrote called Rock and Roll, which was a cool episode where Eddie had got caught up with this older lady. He was, you know, he was singing.
Yeah.
She was only, man, you know, and Eddie. So that was one of my favorites. Because I actually got to write the music for it as well as write the episode. So that was awesome. And then of course Tracy Spencer, Tender Kisses, man. That
yeah. As a teenager, that was crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was crazy. I felt a little I got a little jealous there. I'm like, Eddie does it all. He's a hooper. He gets the singer. He gets everything. Like, how does that even happen, bro? Like, bro, I'm gonna ask you, like, get back to your favorite episodes, but you did everything. You were the perfect, like, you the ultimate, like, son. You did everything. I don't get it. Like, it was amazing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. And man, I didn't do it for me. I did it for us, man.
Yeah.
And then following up the Tender Kisses episode was Chinese Wilson episode, man. Which is another episode that was really cool. I did the music for that as well, and it was cool, man. So yeah, man. Yeah, those are probably some of my favorite episodes. Yeah,
man. And see, back to Eddie as a character, because like I said, it's one thing, like, because watching and recipes from my grandfather, we loved watching Family Matters. I remember TGIF was our thing on Friday, right? So seeing Eddie play basketball,
so awesome.
seeing Eddie being a football player, you know, he did everything. Like, all of a sudden you were a singer. Like, I remember y'all was in the club performing, you were singing there, and then, like I said, you had all the girls, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're a cop. Like, you did everything. I was like, man, what is going on here? This dude did everything. Like, you worked a job. You worked a job and was in school. You worked at the Mighty Weenie. You did everything. Like, it was like the bro, come on now.
Hey, but you know what, though, once again, as a testament to great writing, great producers, man, it takes a lot of creativity to produce something like that, man. And we had the top tier, man. David Duquan, Meg Deluxe. I mean, we had a serious gambit, a crew, man. It wasn't no joke, man. I mean, and then we were able to deliver what they wrote, you know. And that takes a special group of people, and it was a very gifted and special group of people. Jalil White, man, who, you know, that's my little brother, man, legend on the move, you know. Much props to Jay. Reginald Johnson, man, who's one of my greatest teachers as far as acting is concerned, man. That dude, man, he used to stay on my head. He'll never admit to it now. He'd be like, "Oh, I wasn't hard on you, boy. Stop that." But I mean, back in the day, man, because he is an NYU theater graduate.
Yeah.
So that man got a degree for that, man. Like
wow.
Like I said, the OGs, they had a different mentality, man. Like that's why if you look at Michael Jordan's mentality, you know, and Kobe's mentality versus a lot of these players, man, they came to the league to get a championship. They didn't come to the league to get a check. They came to the league to get a championship, man. They didn't come, you know, a lot of these cats, man, is in the league, and no disrespect to nobody, get your money. But I'm just saying, you can't approach life or whatever game you in with that mentality and expect to leave a legacy.
Man. And that's dope, man.
So, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, that's how Reginald, that's how Rosetta Lenoir, that's how Thelma Hopkins, that's how they approached that game, and that's what we sat under. So we soaking that up. Man, we used to have to bring it.
Man. And it was a lot of motion just watching the shows because, you wanted to have the laughs and the giggles and stuff, but a lot of motion. Like, we kind of all grew up together. Like, Eddie was my cousin. I watched him on TV, like my big cousin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Carl was my uncle, you know, and you knew you couldn't do wrong. he kind of reminded me of my grandfather, being raised by my grandfather, not so much strict, but like he was always teach you a lesson, kind of thing. It's just having a sister. My sister and like Laura were like the identical thing. So it's just cool to see how realistic it was. And I think that's most important. Now, I know you get asked this all the time, and I'm going with this one. So there was a particular episode, you already know, Judy. She goes upstairs and disappears. And everybody, I'm pretty sure you asked this before, but that was ironic because that tells you how great writing was. Because for her to not to be there anymore, and there was never really any questions from like the fans, that tells you how great the writing was. But Judy, she just disappears, right? And obviously you explained the story a little bit more in detail. I've seen it before, but how was that the transition though? Because obviously there was 3 kids, but then all of a sudden, Judy goes upstairs, nowhere to be found.
Man, that was hard for us, man. Jamie Foxworth leaving the show was hard for us, man. I mean, it was like we lost a sister, like for real, man. And I mean, I'll never forget one of the first things that Thelma Hopkins and Joe Marie impressed on us was that we are family. And you got to remember, like back in the day, man, they used to spend money. Production would spend money just so you can go out and have family time with your family and get to know each other. They would bring us in just so we could be around each other to build chemistry. That's how much they cared about what we were doing. And so, man, I mean, it was like really like losing a family member. And the difference is social media would have written a whole different story if that was today. It would have written a whole other story. They wouldn't have been able to pull that off. But see, back then, we never even knew how much fan mail was coming in, man. We didn't get a chance to respond to everybody. I mean, there was up to, at times, man, 30 million people a Friday watching us, man. At times, 25, man, it was ridiculous, man. It was never less than 15 million people a Friday night tuning into us. Never less than that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It was a lot of people, man. It's a lot of homes to go into, man. So you gotta understand, everybody knew, but they didn't know how to reach the studio, and the studio didn't have to listen to nobody at the time. At the time, it wasn't no interactive nothing. It wasn't no Idol. This wasn't American Idol. Wasn't nobody pressing one to bring Judy back. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was very unfortunate. Jamie Foxworth, I love her to this day. We were still very close. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her for taking lemons and making lemonade. Her journey is an amazing journey, and she's gonna have the chance to really tell her story one day. And you guys will know what it is. But as for us, once again, man, it made us even closer, and it made us stronger.
Man, so after Family Matters, obviously, a lot of roles. You played a lot of great roles. You were in great movies like Saw. You did a lot of things, man. But the one thing I want to get to is now. So before we get into this whole music thing, playing an iconic person right now, James Brown. Like, and by the way, if you haven't seen it, American Soul, check it out. Check it out. So playing James Brown, how did that even come? Like, how did you prep for that, man? Because James Brown.
Man, let me tell you something, man. So it's crazy. First off, I gotta give my sister Sarah, my baby girl, I gotta give her props because I actually read for the movie, and
okay.
Obviously it didn't go my way. You guys were watching Chadwick Boseman play, the Godfather. So in the movie, my sister told me you were born to play James Brown, and I was like, wow, how can I be born to play James Brown? I'm a foot taller than the man. What are you talking about? She was like, Darius, you can do anything. She was like, I'm telling you. And she actually had made me go in and even audition for the role of James Brown for the movie, because I was like, man, I'm not reading for that, man. They casting somebody else. And she was like, no, you got to do it. So once again, this is a testament to when life is writing your story, all you got to do is show up to do what you're supposed to do. And so it was just an honor, man, to be able to play JB, Mr. Brown. prepping for it, what I did was I talked to a lot of my mentors. A gentleman by the name of Gene Anderson, who's a legend. Gene Anderson, aka the Poo Poo Man, is what they call him. he's he's part of the Funkadelic, all of the Funkadelic crew. Spoke a lot with George Clinton. And I just talked to them about JB, and I had my own experiences with Mr. Brown as well because of my father, one of the cats. You know, he used to work with Mr. Brown, and Mr. Brown loved my dad. I mean, he loved his musicianship, he loved his vibe, he loved my dad. And so it was awesome to watch the admiration that Mr. Brown had for my father because he really appreciated real musicians. Mr. Brown appreciated musicians. He kept a band. It was no joke. I'll never forget. I got a chance to watch him sound check, and he had the band sound checking. And for y'all that don't know what the sound check is, that's when you go into the venue and you check the sound before the audience shows up, so that everything is perfect. You check the show before the audience shows up, so everybody knows what it is. And I mean, the only other person I've seen that was as sound check as long, and maybe not as hard, but as long. And it probably was as hard, but he just had a different way of doing it with Prince. But Mr. Brown sound checked the band. Yeah, man. That was a whole new experience. I'm watching Prince sound check. It was like masterful. But Mr. Brown, so Mr. Brown, he was there and he said, "Hey, check the sound check. The sound check gotta be ready. Now, y'all over here, we in the South. Y'all over here playing like y'all in the North. I don't hear anything. Maybe you hear this cymbal. You hear that cymbal." And so he was saying to them, we're playing in the South. Why y'all playing like y'all in the North? You got to make sure this thing hits. And even down to making sure that the cymbals were properly shined so that when the crash, like y'all, a crash cymbal it's a cymbal. So for y'all don't know, you know, the drums. But so when the crash hit in the light, it bounced off of it perfectly. That's how detailed this man was and in tune with his show. Like that's a whole other stuff, man. And perfectionist, man. And so playing him, I had to take the same approach. And then the other part of that was that I wasn't like I was doing the movie, so I didn't get to show you the stages of James Brown. So what I did was I did my research and being around and watching things and understanding who he was and what he meant to Black culture and to the game of music. I gave you all of James Brown, all the phases at one time, which is very difficult to do. So difficult that I never once broke character when I was on set. I never once broke character when I was doing the actual project. Everybody talked to me, talked to James Brown. So it was exhausting, but it was worth it. And that's how important Mr. Brown is to me and to our culture and to the game, period. Anything else, I would have been disrespecting us.
Dang, man, I'm speechless right now, man. This is crazy. Whoa. All right. So music. So obviously music background. Man, this is gonna be good here. So before we get into the single, let's talk about musical influences. Obviously, family, of course, but what is your favorite genre of music?
Man, you know what? People ask me that question, and I don't think I have a favorite genre of music, man. Music is a universal language, man. I just love music, man. I love The Doors. I love Minnie Riperton, which, by the way, I work with Dick Rudolph, her producer, and her husband. Yeah, I was blessed to work with Dick Rudolph. He actually produced the new edition. A lot of people don't know that. He put the new edition on. Yeah, man. Cool It Now. That was all Dick Rudolph, man. Legend. Yeah, but man, I love Nirvana. I love Marvin Gaye. I love Funkadelic. I love Bob Marley. I love Robert Palmer. Oh my God, man. Robert Palmer was one of the baddest. Man, Rick James. Rick James is one of my all-time teachers, man, and one of my dearest friends, one of my greatest mentors, definitely. Tina Marie. I listen to Bach, Handel, man, Gershwin. I listen to it all, man. Erykah Badu, I love her immensely and intensely. A lot of the younger cats, I mess with Post Malone. Usher is one of my favorites. I listen to it all, man.
That's
Yeah,
dope,
it's a vibration. It's a vibe, man.
man. See,
James
this
Brown,
man
it's a
knows his
vibe.
history. When you mention Minnie Riperton, you already know what time it is. You already know.
Ooh,
That's just different level, man. And that's
ooh,
you drop that fact, man, about Mr. Rudolph. That's even crazier. So now you got a single, Scars and
yes.
Stripes. Let's talk about this, man.
Stars and
So
stripes. Yeah,
so
yeah,
by
man.
the way, everyone, go to iTunes, all your streaming platforms. Please stream this. Definitely give it a listen.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Scars and Stripes real quick, man. So
I wrote
the
that song
process.
actually about 4 years ago, man. Actually,
Okay.
I wrote it before all of this took place, man. I sat down with
Oh,
my guitar, man, and I just wrote this song, man. And yeah, man, it wasn't like I wrote it because we're going through this time. And I want to talk about it, man. Like that song took me on a journey, and it
wow.
actually helped me grow as a human being. It actually helped me understand more who we are as a people and who we are as human beings. Um, Man, I began crafting that song based on a lot of the unfair treatment that I witnessed a lot of the veterans receiving.
Hmm.
And it's crazy, man, because even a lot of these veterans now, man, that are being deployed, to come in and keep the peace right now, man. You
Yeah.
know, um, you may be doing this now and getting this check now, but I was looking at a Navy veteran get beat in the streets of Portland, Oregon, man. There's footage of it, man, by military. This is a man who fought for your freedom, but you beaten him. So
Yeah.
how are they gonna treat you 10, 15 years from now? How are they gonna treat you? You know? And so it just overflowed, man, to a lot of the unfair treatment that I've witnessed a lot of women experience, and a lot of women in the industry experience, and a lot of the brothers in the industry experience, and man, how much we've contributed to this country, and how much we contribute to this
Yeah.
country, and how there's so much that we don't get the fair shake for, and how we'll go into court, man, and they'll throw the book at you and everything else that they can at you, man. When
Yeah.
you've done all that you can to be of service, But the first opportunity that's given, George Floyd had said something, man, that was so amazing. How everybody will be so quick to count you out, man, but real slow to count you in, man. You know,
Man.
and I take it even further, slower to count you in from a place that you already occupy. I already did that, and you telling me you can't count me in back here, huh? And
Yeah.
so that's what Scars and Stripes is, man. That's the tale of Scars and Stripes, man. And the great thing about that record is, man, I was blessed to have El DeBarge, man, who's another one of my greatest teachers, one of my dearest friends, man. That's my
Whew.
soul brother, man. I love El so much, man. He just never ceases to amaze me, man. When you sit down and you have conversations with El DeBarge, man, I mean, you've done something. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about life conversations which lead to the music, because that's
Yeah.
how them guys approached and wrote that music, man.
Man.
And that's what my approach to this song and a lot of the music that I've written and put together. Angelo from Fishbone, who's another one of
Okay.
my great mentors, man. I mean, Fishbone,
Okay.
if it wasn't for Fishbone, it wouldn't be No Doubt. I
Okay.
mean, I love you, Gwen Stefani, but I mean, Gwen Stefani tells herself how they used to go and watch, Fishbone, and that's how they came up
Man.
with a lot of the sound that they have, man. Um, Angelo Moore came in and played horns. My
Yeah.
cousin Quincy McCrary, who's the Grammy winner in the family, he touched a little bit of something on there for me, man. I had Cornelius Mims come in, who's one of the
Okay.
greatest bass players ever, man. And sit in on this session. I work with Javon Dawkins. Javon brought Eric on board to come in and do some background vocals for me, man. And Candace Wakefield, man. And so it was like really
Okay.
one of those kind of records, man. It was just like it was just a record that became bigger than me, and so I wanted to do something, man, to where it was like everybody had a voice. Like you said, Family Matters, you could watch the characters and you could
Hmm.
relate to Eddie, and your sister related to Laura. That's what I
Hmm.
wanted Scars and Stripes to be. for us as humanity, man. And it was just a pleasure putting it together, man. My engineers on the record, Grammy Award winners, man. Tommy Duarte, who's Tupac's engineer, sat in, and yeah, man, my boy Larry, Williams, who's a Grammy Award winner, man. You know, so it's pretty heavy, man. It's a whole lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it, man. And let it get into your spirit, man. Let it be that thing that you put on to get through your day, to carry you through this difficult time, man. You know, it's something that when you put on, man, you just feel like I can do it. You know, I can do this, man. We get ready, man. You know, we got to have that warrior mentality to make it through these perilous times, man. So that's what that is, man, and that's for y'all,
man. You know? And speaking of Tupac, you kind of pulled a Tupac with this. You prophesized sort of things in the song that, you know, in actuality that's happening now. So, man, that just tells you to the genius that you have and the craft and everything, and understanding storytelling is a part of music as well. So, yeah, man, music is good for the soul. That is real. So, one more music question for you: if you had an opportunity to perform at one of these three things, which one would you take? So, I'm going to say off the bat, Coachella. Perform at Coachella, do the halftime show at the Super Bowl, or do the national anthem for Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
I'm gonna have to take Coachella. I'm gonna have to take Coachella, man. Super Bowl would be awesome, but you'd have to have a hell of a show. It's a lot of pressure. Not that I couldn't deliver. I tear a hole in it, man. But I mean, I think that Coachella would provide more of an intimate experience for the people, man. And that's what my thing is. It's about connecting with the people. Marvin Gaye, to me, sang the greatest national anthem ever. And so I don't think that anybody would ever be able to touch it. So everything else is doing, and, you know, Whitney was right behind him. You know, so I think that any national anthem that you do, and then these days, man, I'm just not feeling like singing the national anthem in the shower. I wouldn't even sing it. I wouldn't even sing it in a phone booth.
You're right.
So I'm gonna take Coachella, man, so I can rock out and connect with my people, man. You know what I'm saying? And really make it do what it do, man. Yeah, because that's where I feel most comfortable, man. When I get with my band, boy, and I'm on stage with my little brother, man, and you know, and everybody, man, the crew, man, it gets fired up.
man, that's crazy, and I love that, man. So real quick, I got this game, got bars. This is a lyric trivia game. Now this is the hip hop edition, so we're gonna have some fun here. These are gonna be opinionated answers that you give me. So I won't throw the lyric trivia on you yet, but we're gonna have some fun.
Okay.
So, all right, yeah, because you look like, oh man, here we go. All right, so the first question. This is an action card. The first question: Jay-Z or Nas?
Oh man, why you want to ask? Who came up with this game?
Hey man,
I gotta go. I gotta go with Nas, man. I gotta go with Nas. I love you, Jay. You my man. You know, hey, special place in my heart. I gotta go with Nas, man, because man, it's like, man, Nas is just so poetic with it. Not saying Jay is not a poet, but man, just the metaphors and the way that Nas speaks about it, man. It's like you have to go back sometimes and listen to Nas like repeatedly to really take in everything that he's saying. Now, you know, like I said, Jay got something that's super commercial, and he got something that's really pliable. Nas may not, you know, be playing the Hollywood Bowl, but Nas will be playing all up in your soul.
Yeah. Nas is, once again, storyteller. He tells a great story and everything. And yeah, like you said, lyrical. It definitely brings that to the table. So,
man,
what was the first hip hop album you ever purchased?
First hip hop album I ever purchased was Arrogant Rakim, Paid in Full.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That's some hip hop history there for you. Yeah. Okay.
Man.
I like that.
Man.
Okay. Last one. And this is opinionated, obviously, and you can have any. It could be past or present. But who is the current king of hip hop?
Oh man, I can't answer that question, man. Pull another card out the deck, man. Come on, man.
You gonna have to answer that now.
Nah, I know, man. I'm just like, but okay. So first off, man, I don't really feel like hip hop is. I don't feel like hip hop is what it used to be. That's number one.
Okay.
Like Nas said, I really kind of feel like hip hop is dead. You know.
Okay. Okay.
But I feel like once again, as I stated before, it is our job to evolve. So we're in a constant state of evolution. Rock and roll isn't what it was anymore, but that doesn't mean that we're not still rocking and rolling. So that all that said, the current king of hip hop, to me, I'm gonna put myself in a trick bag answering this question. Who's the current?
No, I can give you some names if that'll push it on. Of the current rappers. I'll make it easy on you. So if they're not gonna come out to you, they'll come out to me for naming them, and you went off names that I gave you, right? Okay. So let's see. We got Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake. I mean, depending on like Nas, the Jay-Z's of the world, obviously they're
right.
icons to hip hop.
Right.
But like
I'm gonna have to go with Dreezy, man. I'm gonna have to go with Dreezy.
I'm
gonna have to go with Drake. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Drake. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, man, I thank you for man. I thank you so much for doing this, man. Coming on the Always Working show, man. I appreciate you. Now, can you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and your website?
Hey, you guys, listen, I'm a simple man with complicated dreams. It's just Darius McCrary and RealDariusMcCrary.com. Everything is Real Darius McCrary. Not spelled. It's no ebonics. It's DariusMcCrary Darius McCrary on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm here for you. Talk to me. I'll talk back.
Man, once again, thank you for coming on, man. Any final words, man, for everybody out here?
Hey, y'all. First off, thank you for having me. I appreciate you, man. Next time you talk to GP, man, tell him all the great things I said about him.
If he let me talk. If he lets me talk, right? Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
You know.
Yo, man. Hey, Glove, man. It will never be another, man. That's my big brother. I always tell be greatest and never change. Guys, my final words are: we got to stand together, or we're gonna fall all over. Man. And if we don't continue to shake things up, there'll be nowhere to stand. So we gotta continue to support each other. You don't have to lose for me to win, and that should be the new mentality. Take that with you. Economic resistance is all I could speak of. I'm doing something, with this thing, Blackout Tuesday, where I'm not spending any money in solidarity for all our brothers and sisters that are lost every Tuesday. And I'm challenging all of you to stand with me. If you do spend money, spend it in a Black-owned business. If you can't find a Black-owned business, go to a brown-owned business. If you can't find a brown-owned business, go to a yellow-owned business. Spend money with people who understand what it is to lose loved ones at the hands of systemic racism. That's what you do, and so that's what I want to leave you with.
Man, this is wonderful, man. So once again, everybody, check out Scars and Stripes on all streaming platforms. Man, watch this guy work, man. This is history right here. I know that a lot of times you get told this, but just coming from a field of entertainment and media, what you're doing, man, and how you able to progress, this was amazing. So once again, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And as I always tell everybody, we are out.
Peace.